Welcome to this week's Pound for Pound ATL's Falcon Eye View. Hey, I'm Toby D, and I guess you guys probably figured that me and JR this week, we have swapped places. He did a great think tank, man, as he was talking about statistics on the QBs that have come out in these drafts, and it didn't look so well as far as the analytics go with success of QBs. And I really enjoyed watching that segment, man. Hey, I am not going to try to fill the shoes of JR. I'm just going to tell you right now, I think he does an amazing job on the Falcon Eye View breaking down whether it's draft players or whether it's free agent players that we brought in or free agents that we wanted before we started signing players, man. He's done a great job with that. So my stuff is more like TV watching. If you watch my last think tank, you can see how come the film was so big behind me. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here. But I'm mainly doing this video on Falcon Eye View this week because I was requested during our live show last week by Tony Wright, who has been a pound for pound ATL faithful, been with us for quite some time. Really have enjoyed his presence. He asked me to look into Trey Smith, Tennessee Vols left guard. Man, this is a big, massive dude. 6'5", 321 pounds was his weight and height at his pro day last week on March 25th. Man, like I said, man, he is a big, massive dude. And I really enjoyed watching a lot of the film on him. And we're going to go over some of those things. Of course, you know, I like to start out with the negatives first and then get to the positive. But I'm very excited about talking about this guy because I do believe if he is a BPA somewhere in that third round for the Atlanta Falcons, and we take this guy, I think he will fit well with Dwayne Ledford, our new offensive line coach. He would fit well, man, a guy that can play to the whistle, aggressive when he wants to be. And I say that because there has been times, man, where he looks very dominant. And then there are times where he looks like not so dominant. But we're going to talk about them not so dominant moments. The first thing I do have to say, his medicals do scare me. According to Pro Football Focus, he does have a situation with blood clots in his lungs. Now that is a very scary situation for a guy, but he seems to have been able to manage it well and enough to be able to play football. So with that being said, hey, if we took Caleb McGarry with the heart issues he had, and he did have a minor issue where he had to have a procedure done while being in the NFL the couple of years he's been here. If things check out well, and he is a guy that the Atlanta Falcons would like to get as BPA in that third round, hey, with the strength and conditioning coaching that we have right now, and we got more guys on this staff than I remember in the past of having, starting with Thomas Stallworth. So I'm confident if this is a guy that we're looking at to take, because I think he definitely would fit in Dwayne Ledford's scheme up front with the man blocking and wide zone runs that Arthur Smith likes to call in this offense. So let's talk about the negative. I want to talk about two clips against Missouri, and you're going to see a lot more Missouri stuff that I have of him, because even though the negatives were in here, there was positives in this film as well. So let's talk about one of the negatives. One of the no-nos I would not like to see Trey Smith get caught in. See, one of the things is this is a guy who's 6'5", and he can get stood up quite often. And if you watch anything about Dwayne Ledford, he preaches staying low, staying low. And so this is something he's going to have to get used to doing more of in the NFL, or else things like this will happen to him. If you see in this clip here, where he's getting ready to go back in a pass set, and dude is able to stab his arm and hand right into the chest of Trey Smith and control him and push him back. Now, number two quarterback said, you know what, that don't matter to me. With a big frame like 6'5", Trey Smith, I can still run behind this dude and get up out of here before I get sacked. And that's exactly what you see the quarterback do. And he gets some positive gains off of that. Now, this second one against Missouri as well, you see a similar thing happening to Trey Smith, where dude is able to get up into him and able to basically throw Trey Smith away. Now, Trey tries to get a little retaliation, but, you know, by this time, damage has already been done. And those are things that I know that can be cleaned up if he continues to practice, you know, staying low and doing the things that if we were to draft him, Dwayne Ledford would require for him to do. But this dude definitely has some nasty play through the whistle tendencies that I love to see, especially with what I think Dwayne Ledford is going to bring to this offensive line. That nastiness that I remember that we had when we had guys like Tyson Clabo, Justin Blaylock, Todd McClure, even at one point in time, Harvey Dahl. These guys would play nasty through the whistle. Even that got to the point where you had guys from the Giants back in the day throwing out negatives saying that they were dirty players, which I don't believe that and didn't believe it then and don't believe it now. But you have a guy like this. This is a running back's best friend, ladies and gentlemen. And I love what this guy can bring to the table. Now, I'm going to tell you, like you hear a lot of people say, man, I can watch that one film. If this guy was that consistent in all the other games that he's been in, man, we would have something. And I'm saying that right now because this guy definitely, if he was more consistent with the style of play that he showed us versus Auburn, you can watch that film all day, ladies and gentlemen. At least I know I could. And this one play, I'm sure many of you guys who have studied a lot about this guy already before I got into him, watched this many times, him versus Auburn. Now, in this situation, I'm going to show this clip where he basically is a pulling guard from the left guard position, and he's number 73. And you watch this guy right here, man, just pulls from the left over to the right. And the linebacker ain't even paying him no attention, ladies and gentlemen. Which I don't understand how you cannot pay a 6'5", 321-pound guy attention coming over across the offensive line formation. But he definitely sneaks in and takes that linebacker out who thinks he's got a clear-cut pathway to the quarterback. Quarterback draw. Trey Smith takes him out. Touchdown. Play over. That's some stuff, man, I can watch this guy do because he definitely has shown he can be aggressive when he wants to. And what I mean by, again, when I say he's a running back's best friend, if you look at this same game, great blocking to be able to spring holes open for Gray. I mean wide open holes for Gray to be able to go through there and get many yards on this play, man. I'm telling you, this guy definitely specialty is running game blocking, and I love watching that. And especially with a team like ours, who hopefully Arthur Smith brings that running game mentality over to the Atlanta Falcons, he would fit perfectly in this scheme and road grading some guys, as you see in that clip. Now, I want to talk about the positives in the Missouri game, because it seemed like early on he just seemed like he was not motivated. But boy, he started to wake up. And when he started to wake up, ladies and gentlemen, he was doing his thing. And as you see here, I'm going to show you, I want to show you where he actually is able to get out on the second level. And a guy this big that's able to get out like that, still as big as he is, that is impressive to me. Trey right here is getting ready to go out on this running back screen. And you see your boy here basically is able to get out on that second level and sweep and clean everything up so that Gray can go ahead and get that touchdown. You don't want no piece of this guy coming at you full speed. You best believe that. And I love watching that. And hey, I can see us being able to throw these running back screens, especially with Mike Davis being here for the Atlanta Falcons. Shout out to Mike Davis, by the way. I'm glad you're here from the Carolina Panthers. It's your hometown, and you're back in the A. So shout out to you, and I think you would appreciate having a guy like this running in front of you. And I can see that left guard position being hot and heated with competition come time for that competition to go down with whomever's going to take over there, whether it's Matt Cano, Matt Hennessy, Josh Andrews, the guy we just signed, and possibly Trey Smith getting up in there and getting a piece of the action. I can definitely see that. But I want to talk about one more play from being a running back's best friend. You see this play here where you got, again, against the Missouri Tigers. Man, he's able to get a hole open just enough for Gray to slither through there and be able to get some yards. Man, I mean, and it was a tight squeeze for Gray, but Gray got behind Trey Smith and was able to get out there on and get more yards. And man, that was just impressive for me that he was able to open up just enough for Gray to slide through there. I got to show one more. I got to show one more because I would be crazy if I don't show this one against Missouri. Again, here's a guy you do not want no part of when he's coming out on you. Now, he realized he doesn't have an upfront block, so he knows his assignment is he's got to get out on the linebacker. And that is exactly what he does, ladies and gentlemen. He gets out on this linebacker against Missouri and takes that linebacker out, and Gray is off running to the races. And he is getting a nice chunk of yardage. And I'm loving that, guys. I'm telling you, especially if we put emphasis on the run game, this is a guy I want on my offensive line competing for a spot for the Atlanta Falcons. Because I'm excited about this guy, and I thank Tony Wright for introducing him to me. I had not gotten into any centers or guards or tackles for that matter yet, and this is the first guy that I'm diving into, and I like what I see from this dude. Now, if the medicals check out and the blood clots are not much of an issue and you feel like this dude is going to be able to come in and do some things for you, Falcons, and he's BPA at that third round, definitely he will have to be selected for the Atlanta Falcons to come in here and compete for a spot on this team. But hey, man, that is all I got right now, man. Hey, like I said, I can't fill the shoes of JR because he does such a magnificent job, but I definitely tried my best. Listen, follow me, Toby D 1991 on Twitter. That's where I be. You got any questions, man? You want to chop it up with me? Please do so, man, and help me continue to get my numbers up on Twitter. I'm definitely excited about this season. And, you know, subscribe to the channel if you have not, because, man, we got some things coming for you guys, and we are excited about what this year has in store for pound ATL and the things that we're doing. You're starting to see Jimmy come out and do his thing, and be on the lookout for Mike Dub. I believe is going to come out and do his solo thing as well, man. All of us want to get out on the solo road as well as being together in the live chats. Continue to join us on them live chats, and we're not too far from our goal of 4,000 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. That is exciting right now. And hey, man, continue to hit that subscribe button and notification. Again, my name is Toby D. It's Pound for Pounds, Falcon Eye View. Peace. I'm out.